What's up, guys? I kind of wanted to do like I guess a vlog style shit, right? Um, I always preface this, right? I believe in accountability. I don't blame nobody but myself for my life. It's stupid. I don't come on here to say that, oh, it's this person's fault, it's that person's fault, it's this woman's fault, it's this. No, I don't really do that, right? So at the end of the day, if I say something, my basis, I still believe that at the end of the day, it's my choices, it's my fault. So that's I want to preface that. So I just wanted to you know um talk about just a lot of my content I talk about men and women dynamics, right? And I say things about women, but it's because of those videos. So I'm not saying necessarily all women or something like that. So when I'm talking about myself, I view like I said, I base everything on accountability. So I don't when I have commenters say that, oh, you're single or you can't find a girl, no one wants you. Okay, right? I would say that at the end of the day, it's usually my fault, right? Not because of women or something. It's my fault. One is like the women I choose, or the women I'm attracted to, or the women I just so happen to come across. Because again, we kind of negate how life works, right? Life doesn't work like where you wake up and you have hundreds and hundreds of options in front of you, and all these options want you, and you just choose from them. That's not how life works, right? Life works is that, you know what, someone may just happen to come in your life, and that one person may just not be the right person for you, or maybe the person you want, but they don't want you. And if that doesn't happen, that doesn't mean that you have another chance of someone else, right? Life doesn't happen that easily. It's not like a actual game. Particularly, let's say for average people, right? For average people, for the average person, you don't get a rotating door of plenty of partners, right? Potential partners. You don't. Why am I blabbing is that it's like you know I would like someone, right? I mean, I know a few followers that's going MGTOW and stuff like that, and I get it. You be dejected of how the dating market is, the dating scene is. But for me, it's like, I've had failed relationships, but it still doesn't negate that I want a relationship. I want to be with someone. But I get it, right? I'm not a charming guy. I'm not a charming guy. I'm very, very average looking. I'm not charming, very average looking. I'm shy. I'm an introvert, so I'm not like going up to women and just start, charming them and chatting them up. So it's very hard, right? That makes dating like 10 times, 100 times harder, you know. But it's just, I don't know. Again, that's the how hard it is for men, right? No one's approaching me. I gotta approach people. So, and then I'm terrible at it, right? I'm terrible at approaching women. I'm terrible at it. I'm crazy shy. I'm crazy shy. And when I try to approach, I don't know what to say. I'm not good. Like again, I have like zero charm. If my charm level was a gaming stat, it would probably be negative 100, right? I'm a terrible talker. But it's just that I'm in a, I guess I'm in a conundrum, right? Where you want to, find a relationship, find a partner, but you're terrible at dating. I'm terrible at dating, so it's just I don't know. Uh, and like again, I don't blame nobody. I don't blame no one but myself. I just wanted to talk to you guys about it, and you know, um, share, just share my life, my views, my life stuff like that. Right. At the end of the day, is that you know I only have the option that I pick from, right? And usually just that doesn't work out, right? I dated women you know, um, who are sometimes very cold, not affectionate, or very demanding, or just there's plenty of magnitudes of reasons. But it's just that I don't know what to do, right? Some people say, yeah, just keep trying, get out there and like talk to them. They're like, but when you try to talk to them and you just like you give them a creepy creepy or introverted or loser, talking game, it's not attractive. I agree. I know it's not, right? When a woman feels like there's no confidence in your speaking, there's zero attraction. It is what it is, right? I mean, the women I've dated in the past, they kind of came for me, right? They kind of went after me, or they kind of facilitated, uh, opportunities for me to go forward, right? And I can't expect that all the time. I can't expect a woman to, give me the go ahead or the path to, into her heart, right? It's not, life doesn't happen like that. I just want to say that, sometimes this is why people think that, dating is easy or, it's, you always have options or, whatnot. It's not for the average person, right? Not for the average person, particularly when, the average person may, be an introvert, may be, not just not good at it, right? I'm blabbering, I know. But again, this is kind of like a vlog thing, so I'm just talking. I'm just talking to talk. I don't know. I'm in like a conundrum where I don't know if I would try to date a Vietnamese girl from another country. I'm from Vietnam, because again, that's a whole because you know I'm in America, right? I live in America, so dating a woman that's far away is like I don't want it. I really don't want to do long distance thing again. Plus, it's like I'm only here for like 2 months, so you can't necessarily get a relationship sparked already, right? It's hard to get a relationship sparked. Then why? And then it's gonna if I don't have a relationship sparked, I don't have to necessarily the motivation to come back here as often, right? Because if you have a relationship sparked, most likely you'll come here, every couple months. I did that when I was in the UK. But you can't rush people, into something that they're not used to or they don't want. So that's a conundrum that I'm experiencing, while in Vietnam on vacation right now. Again, I'm not really the type that dates just to, I don't know, have fun. I kind of want to date with an intention and purpose. So I don't know. I'm just recording just to talk, right? As I guess a diary, right? Like a form of diary. So thank you for listening and stuff. I don't know. I'm just blabbering. But yeah, okay. This is kind of like me just blabbering. So I mean, I just wanted to post and I just wanted to get feelings out. Like a diary, I guess, a vlog diary, digital diary. So excuse me, might not be interesting. So I've been talking to this girl for a couple weeks now. You know, uh, I know about I mean I'm talking to her in another country, right? Um, learning things about her. She's very traditional in a sense, right? Traditional in a sense that she doesn't want to do nothing until marriage, which is fine, right? That's cool. I don't mind that. But this is the thing where I'm coming up from the point where well, I want to preface this, right? That I think a lot of women seem to never understand the amount men need to put in, right? They don't. They don't really think that. So let's say, for instance, the level that men have to give out for marriage, what are they getting back in return, right? You liking somebody, is great, but it's like it seems like a lot of times men need to put so much effort in to continue to put effort in. So what I mean by that? So I need to, let's say, I'm not saying in her particular case, but I'm saying in general, men need to wine and dine women just to ask women to marry them. So I need to impress you to then marry you. But what am I marrying? I'm marrying someone that I impressed, not that they impressed me, right? Because you would think that if you're giving someone marriage, they would try to impress for them to get marriage from you. But it's like I'm thinking like you're impressing women so you can give them marriage. I'm like that. That doesn't seem right in my opinion. That doesn't seem right in my opinion. That doesn't seem like. So I'm going to wine and dine you. I'm going to put effort in, show you love, do all this, just so I can now give you what you wanted, marriage. So where's the point where? What about again? Maybe it sounds selfish, but I think human beings. Well, it already sounds selfish to the woman, right? But human beings, it's transactional, right? So I'm like thinking like, I'm gonna give you effort, so I can give you more, i.e., a marriage. I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm just blabbering, right? I'm just like at my age, I'm thinking like, wow, this is. It's like men's life is to give more, only to then give more. And then this is the thing where a lot of women are surprised that then when men give more and then to give more, I more marriage, like marriage, right? Like I said, they wine, dine you, they impress you, they constantly try to show love, romance, all that shit, just to then give you marriage. And then you're surprised that men, after giving marriage, men are just done. Men are out. Men are checked out. Men are tired. Men are like, okay, now what about me, right? So this is why I'm thinking about it. Women don't realize that, you know, men that gave so much in the beginning, right? That point to marriage. Then you say like, look, why is this man like not doing anything? Why is he not whining and dining me? Why is he not? Because he's done that throughout the whole process, right? While you gave pretty much the bare minimum, if that, and now that he gave you what you wanted, now he's kind of like, okay, where's my return on the investment? As cold as it may sound, this is why a lot of women don't realize that. Okay, why is he supposedly changed, or why is it like he's giving no effort, and I gotta give any effort? Well, now you know how he felt before, all right? Now you know how he felt before. This is the thing why I just feel like I'm just processing it. It's like we don't realize the exchange of effort. Okay, we rarely ever. So I'm just sitting back and I'm just trying to think back at it, right? My own little thing. That it seems like I'm giving more than I'm receiving, and it's always like that. Okay, and it's like I'm just like that doesn't make sense. Okay, I say this for men and women. Okay, it never makes sense for you to give more than you receive, or a substantial, right? There's a big gap between it. Okay, so this is why I'll call out women for you getting so much in the beginning, and now you're complaining that you're not getting nothing while you have to give. No, I never cared for shit like that, because you didn't complain when you were getting more than you were giving, right? Women didn't complain when they were getting more than they were giving, but now they complain that they have to give more than they're receiving. No, I don't I have no sympathy for that. Now, I have sympathy for the person who was giving more and getting nothing, right? Or getting very little. I have sympathy for that. I have understanding for that. I do also have understanding for a person who was giving a lot and then at the, wherever, they're checked out. Now they want, what about them? So I'm all saying this is that, I've been talking to someone and just like, she says she likes me and all this stuff and it's like, but her priorities are not me, which is, it's fine, right? It is what it is. I'm not forcing or, um, clamoring for me to be her number one priority, but it's just like, it's weird when you say you love someone, you say you miss someone, yet through your actions, it shows you that, do you? Because how can you miss someone? How can you love someone when they don't feel like a priority? Okay? When you see them, you barely see them. Okay? This is the thing. It's like, sometimes women they disconnect, or just people in general, right? I would say this if it was men, that you talk a lot of game, but your actions prove otherwise. So I'm just like, I'm in a position where I try my best not to be desperate, right? Desperate, because I get it, right? I'm probably like most people, most men. I hate the dating scene. I'm terrible. Right? I'm awkward. I'm an awkward person. I'm shy. I'm probably hard to deal with. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that, right? I'm probably hard to deal with. So I'm not gonna. I don't, I don't blame no one. I'm not blaming no one. I know I'm not an easy person to love. So, I'm not gonna. But sometimes when you feel like you're at a disadvantage of the sort, you become desperate, right? You try to accept anything, right? You accept anything and anyone you can get because you feel like you get no one because you're hard to deal with, right? You're hard to love. As I'm getting older, I'm trying to not be desperate. I'm not trying to be like, okay, you know what? Fine, she doesn't love me like she says, or I'm not priority. I'm not getting a whole lot from the relationship, but you know what? It's better than nothing. No, I'm just like, you know what? It's like I'm at a point where, you know what? I could focus on my life, focus on my own joys, even if it's by myself. It is what it is, right? It's not like I don't have a kid. I do. It's not like I'm a virgin. I'm not. So I don't know. Part of me is like trying to. I think one of the hardest things for men is trying not to be desperate, right? Learn to not be desperate. So trying to hold myself back. Like no, if women can say that they won't accept the bare minimum or less than, why do men do it, right? Why must men accept the bare minimum or below the bare minimum, right? Why? That's my thing. So, it is what it is, right? If you can't get love, you can't get love. So it is what it is. This is kind of like just getting my thoughts out, right? Because in the last video I said she's traditional, right? Again, last video just I guess my own personal therapy session, right? Just to talk to, just to talk, get things out. Because I think it's a good thing to, get the words out into the ether. I said she's traditional, right? I said that she wants to break into marriage. And then in my mind, like, you know what? I may be thinking about, it's sex. Because, a lot of my past relationships, right? It's the lack of intimacy that has been the problem, right? The dip off in the level of intimacy. And then, I've had ex say, oh, you only care about sex. It's not just care about sex, right? But I'll be honest, sex is probably number one, number two, okay? But in my opinion, right, okay, women never think about this. If you take away sex, right, completely, take away sex, you talk to any woman, right? No sex, right? You don't give no sex. What can you do to make a man want you, right? What besides sex? If you took sex completely off the table, what do you do to get a man to want you? I mean, obviously, men do a whole lot. You take away sex, right? Because that's not a hard thing for women. Women are not like, banging on the door for sex. So if you take away sex of men giving it, men have a multitude of other things they have to do to get a woman to want them. What does a woman have to do? Because let's say this, everything, when you map the map, right? Everything leads towards sex, right? Women dressing up. Well, if you dress up, you look beautiful, leads nowhere. What's the point, right? What's the point of beauty when that beauty does not lead towards, let's say, intimacy? Okay, I mean, okay, nice to look at, but then what? Doesn't go nowhere. So I'm not saying that sex is not everything, but I'm saying that if you take away sex, which is like I said, and her and the one I'm talking to, right? She wants to wait until marriage, which is okay, but it has to go towards marriage. So if I have to give you something that I believe it's a big thing, marriage is a big thing. I don't want divorce, right? I don't want divorce. So it's high level commitment. What am I getting? What are you showing me that's making me want to marry you? I already said in my last one is like I already feel like I'm last on her priority list, which is understandable, right? She's working, has friends and shit like that. I get it, but okay, that's already no sex. Okay, I'm not saying I'm just saying it out loud, I'm already feel like last on priority list. Okay, not great, because the times you spend together, it spends very little, maybe an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours every week, every other day. And if we're spending time, the time that I'm spending with you, I want to see you. So I'm putting that effort to see you. The time you see me, you barely put that effort in, or you do, it's like, okay, seeing each other is already a little bit. And then, our conversation there's not a whole lot of substance about that, right? I'm not saying that, all the time has to be substance, but like, I learned my thing from, dating strong, independent women. But I do like women, who has a bit of curiosity, has a bit of intelligence, have a bit of, wonder of the world, right? So the conversations were pretty dry, and I guess I'm talking this out just like, like I said in my last video, I want to, I know I'm not the easiest to love, right? So when people are not the easiest to love, they become desperate, right? Like I know I know being in a dating scene is hard. I know, I won't get nobody, so I'll accept anything, right? I will accept anything. So you want to deprogram that, where I'm not trying to be desperate, right? If I can't find someone, it is what it is, right? If I can't find someone, it is what it is. So I guess I'm just talking about the negatives, right? That conversation is pretty weak. Definitely there's no love, right? I mean, there's no intimacy like that, right? I mean, we make out, that's nice and all, right? But again, I'm not like 25. Making out is as cute and nice and all, but when it leads nowhere, it's okay, And it's like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like, again, I'm in the part where I need to continue to impress her, but like I said in the last one, my desire to continue to impress you, to only ask you to marry me, that doesn't make me desire to marry you, right? This is, like I said in the last one, it's like, what? You're not making me want to marry you. You're trying to make me want to get you to want to. It's like, so I'm trying to impress you so I can marry you, to give you marriage. Yet you're not trying to impress me to get marriage from me. So I find that insane, right? I find that not my cup of tea, because it's just. And she's, she's cute. I mean, she's cutesy, girly in a way, right? I mean, she doesn't dress girly. She's trying to dress tomboyish, which it is what it is, right? It's fine. But I'm saying that, like, the more I think about it, is like, I'm not. And a lot of times, right, it's hard, right? It's hard to be completely honest with women. A lot of times she says she loves me, which is like, I'm just like, why are you loving me? Yet you barely see me, you barely talk to me, and you already love me. Like, okay. I kind of find it disingenuous in a way. And then sometimes she wants me to get to say I love her, which is like, I say I like her, right? But I don't want to just keep on saying I love you like it's, there's no meaning to it. There's meaning to it, right? And it's like, you're doing nothing to get me to, fall in love with you, right? Because there's this one story, right, of my ex that I always, it's always etched in my heart, right? That it was the point where I fell completely in love with her. I was in, my master's program, right? I was doing something, a project, and I could not get this project to work, right? I couldn't figure out this project. So she was right next to me, right? An ex, right? This was years ago. My ex was right next to me. I was so angry, so mad. She was trying to like help me. She was trying to make me feel better. I yelled at her. I was mad. I was like, just go away. I don't, just like whatever, right? And I was a jerk. I was a complete jerk. I was an ass. I was, So she left. I'm just trying to figure this out. Only a few minutes later, she came up with a senior, right? She came to me with a senior to help me out, to figure out how to solve my problem. And I'm like, that was the moment I felt like I love this woman, right? It didn't work out, right? But still, when I said I love her, I meant it, because she saw past me. She saw past the moment, right? Me being a jerk then, because it didn't matter. She knew I was suffering, right? So because her love for me, right, surpassed me being a jerk, right? She knew that she was understanding, right? All that said, so it just showed me that, like, wow, this woman loved me a lot, and it meant something, and that's why I knew that I loved her, because she see past my bad moments and still loved me, and that was a moment that that I when saying I love you meant it, right? So I don't know. These are just thoughts and stuff. So So this is like kind of like a part three, right? I kind of blabbed all my feelings and thoughts, and I kind of wanted to take a little bit of time to do some self reflection, right? Because like I said, I always like to take accountability. I don't blame others for what I'm feeling or my things that I try to see what's my problems, right? Because I think that that helps more, and that that's more constructive. And I agree, right? I mean, I agree that I think that I agree with myself that I'm very expectant, right? I've been hurt before, and I know that you shouldn't bring necessarily your hurt into your next relationship. So I'm not saying I'm bringing my hurt, but I guess I'm saying I'm bringing my experience where I'm expectant. Not the best, maybe not the best thing. Standards, boundaries, which I promote. Everyone should have it. Now, if it's unrealistic, it's unrealistic. Now, I'm not sure if my standards and boundaries are unrealistic. It's more like I want to feel wanted. I want to feel like I'm a priority. I want to feel like who's with me, who says they love me, actually love me, right? And when you don't feel like you're a priority, when they say that they're thinking about you, but their action seems like they could care less to be around you, or they're barely around you. So if you miss me and you barely see me, how's it you miss me, right? If you love me and you barely want to be around me, or you barely talk to me, or you barely try to get to know me, do you love me? So my thing is like, maybe this is crazy. Maybe this is like my own wackiness and weirdness. Like, the more someone loves me, the more I love them. That is my own weirdness. I meant maybe that's not a good thing, but my my feelings are weird, right? When someone, the amount of someone, maybe this is why, and I've never been in that situation, but, and I'm not saying that this is a good thing because I don't know, but I always feel like if I'm being obsessed over, maybe that's probably bad, right? Is what would make me love them more, right? Obsess over them, okay? So I don't know if this is probably unhealthy, right? But it's like the more someone loves me, the more I love them because the more I feel love, the more I want to give love. Maybe that sounds better, right? So I don't know if this is unrealistic or not. It's just like more I feel like someone's thinking about me. More someone I know someone's thinking about me, right? The more someone wants to see me, the more someone wants to just be around me, kiss me. It's like wants to have sex with me, right? They just like my I had an ex that we had, which is just weird. I mean, I know sex is not everything, but it's a big thing. I'm sorry, right? As much as women clamor against it, it's a big thing. We had so much sex that I was tired, right? That I was like, maybe we should slow down, right? Because she wanted it every day, multiple times a day. I'm like, wow, this is like, and I loved it because I felt wanted, right? That's my thing. It's just that because I guess in my mind, it's like I know that women in general, or at least the women I've been with, right, doesn't want sex as much as I do. So to be with someone that wants it so much more, wants me so much more, it's like I felt extremely loved, right? I felt desired, right? Desired. So but it's maybe I have too unrealistic standards for the ones I'm meeting, right? It's probably my fault, right? It's not like this is a thing where a lot of women maybe don't understand men's issues where it's not like there was 100 women, right? Lined up for you to choose from, right? For me, and I believe a lot of men, one woman comes into your life and that's the woman you choose from, right? It's not like you're choosing from dozens and upon dozens of women. No, just particularly for the awkward men. I'm awkward. I'm shy. I'm not particularly charming. I'm not like the best talker, so I'm not charming dozens of women to see which one I want to choose from. No, I get introduced to a woman. We start talking, and it's like, okay, that woman I'm talking to, right? It's not like I'm talking to another woman and then another woman, so I can choose from all three. No, it's just the women that comes into my life. That's the women I'm choosing from. Not like I'm creating choices, right? And I get it. Some men, they gotta create choices. I'm terrible at it, right? I'm terrible at creating choices. So that's another my problem. It's not like I'm choosing. It's not like I'm creating a whole bunch of options for me to choose from. So I'm understanding that it's not her fault, right? It's not her fault. It's my fault. Particularly like, okay, this is the woman I'm choosing from. I'm putting my expectations on one woman. So the percentage of one woman meeting that expectation isn't high. So that's something that we gotta realize that I don't blame her, right? If she doesn't fit what I desire, she doesn't fit what I desire. She's probably heard about it, right? She's heard a little bit about it because she supposedly, it's like she's heard about it. Like I said, she's traditional, right? She's the type of woman that wants to get wait until marriage. Like I said, so that traditional mindset makes her maybe a little bit. Maybe she finds it. Oh, I love this person because I just I kiss them. I'm getting to know them, so I fall in love with them. But it's like that's not love, in my opinion. Okay, at least not that's liking. Right? I feel like that level is you like someone. not love someone, right? I think there's sometimes people misconstrue levels to, relationships, to love, right? You're liking someone, you're okay with someone, you like someone, you I don't know, maybe there's in between, you love someone. So, I pretty much ended it. I said, like, I just don't think that I don't think that we're right for each other. Okay. Um, you know, I can't stand I can't deal with someone who says that they love me and they miss me, yet they don't see me all day and just spend don't see me all day or talk to me all day and come over and just spend 3 hours and leave. I'm like, how's that you miss me and love me? Right? It's particularly like, on a weekend where you say you have no work. It's just it's just her actions don't meet her words, right? Which is, it's okay, it's understandable. That's what she thinks, right? She wants to take it slow, which is fine. But I don't I I'm at the age I'm at. I'm not desiring to take it drastically slow, particularly, if we it's gonna be a long distance relationship if I continued it. So, I need to. This is the thing, right? There's a whole lot of things, right? I need to. She wants marriage, and it's a long distance relationship. I need to know that it's worth going through all that hassle, right? Going through all that trials and tribulation. Because I've been there, I've done that, and I promise myself I don't want to do that again. But if I have to do it again, or if I'm put in a situation where to do it again, it has to be worth it. It doesn't feel like it's worth it. So, but I understood that I have some expectations and boundaries that the woman that I'm meeting doesn't meet. No fault of her own. It's not her fault. You know. So and more things like I continue something that I kind of feel like is not working, and that's still the sense of desperation that I'm trying to fix. That I know that nobody deserves to be with someone that's desperate. So, yeah, just processing, which I believe everyone should self reflect. Everyone should self reflect in their life.